He said that you're being pulled. He told you afterwards or during the stop?
It was afterwards. He didn't even say why he pulled me over when he walked to my car. He just asked for a license and registration.
All right, I get it. So he didn't identify why exactly he was pulling you over. Peace to Instagram as well. We are now on YouTube as well, Global Empire ENT channel. So he didn't tell you why he was pulling you over. Who all was in the car with you when you were pulled over?
It was me, my son, my grandbaby, and my daughter-in-law.
All right. And so you were going to get the tags for the car. You just assumed you were coming back. You called in late for work. You said, okay, I'll be back. I just got to take care of business and I'll be back.
Right.
Peace. I'm going to now, once again, because this is very, very important for my YouTubers to see as well. You need to see the actual video of what happened from the beginning to the end. We've already showed it on the other outlets, you guys. So let's show it again, shall we? Just give me one moment. And you can ask questions as well. If you'd like to ask questions, you can definitely ask the questions now. Greetings to my YouTubers. Peace to you. All right, let's get it, shall we?
Right now. Y'all, the police is pulling on me. Put it on the police. Y'all, this guy is in my car. Someone help me. This man is in my mama's car. He just took my keys. Put on me. This police, I'm on Highway 55. Hold it here. I'm on Highway 55. Y'all, me and my family, my grandbaby, Lena, I need y'all. What you trying to do? Oh, Daddy. He's threatening to taser. Leave my son alone. Leave my son alone. What is your name, sir? What is your name? What is your name, sir? Don't pull my son. Y'all, we on Highway 55. Send emergency crews. We not far from South Haven. This policeman is tasing us. Don't tase my son. He's tasing us. He's tasing us. Stop tasing my son. Help us, y'all. We on Highway 55. He tased me, y'all. Help us. Help us. Help us, y'all. Stop tasing us, sir. Stop tasing us, sir. Please stop tasing us.
No, let me go before you break my arm.
Y'all, join my life. Sure. See the shirt, my life. Let my son go, sir.
No. Let me go, sir. No, my wrist.
Y'all, we need help. We need help. We need help. Y'all, stop. No. Stop. No. Y'all, this is a robot. Y'all, this man is my son. Y'all. We on Highway 55. We on Highway 55. Yes.
Somebody call help.
We need help. We need help, y'all. We on Highway 55. German's tasing us. He's fighting us, y'all. He's trying to take my son out of the car. Yes. I don't know his name. I don't know his name. No.
Be quiet, just sit down.
Sit down, baby.
Sit down, AJ.
No.
Sit down. Get out of the car.
No. Y'all, I don't know his name, y'all. He won't tell us his name.
Arrested for DUI.
Yeah. What's understood, overstood, need not be explained. You know, we think a lot of times that a lot of shit happens in the past, the early 1900s and the 1800s and all that, but it's actually happening today, such as last month, a few weeks ago is when this happened, you all. Let me ask you something, Queen.
Mm-hmm.
When they pulled you over, the first officer came and said, we're pulling you over. I need your license and registration. They didn't tell you why, correct?
No, correct.
So after that happened, take us through the events.
So after that happens, he said he came back. He said, well, it's a loud case of smoke coming out the car, weed smoke. And so at that time, I had my cigarette lit. My son, he was smoking his Black and Mild. And I said, well, sir, I'm smoking a cigarette and you smelling the black like that. And so he said, well, you don't mind stepping out to do a sobriety test? I agreed with the officer. I stepped out. I did the test. Followed him with his fingers and stuff. And he stood there for a minute and he just said, well, everything's checks out. And he looked both ways, like make sure wasn't no oncoming traffic. And he just said, well, okay, I got to place you under arrest. And I said, well, wait a minute, sir, hold on. So as I turned around to tell my son, I was trying to get my son to call for help, to call someone. Soon as I turned around, he just grabbed me by my arm and boom, slung me down on the ground. And how I end up on the passenger side, my son gets out the car to say, hey, man, you don't have to do my mom like that. So as my son was approaching to help his mama off the ground, he just turned around and started beating my son. So now at that point, I'm already in fear that we both could lose our life, or he mainly wanted to kill my son. So I just started shielding my son, and we were shielding each other, and we drug each other back to the car. Oh, while in the car, that's when what the footage you all got. That's when the beating, the tasing. He made sure that I wouldn't go nowhere. He snatched my keys out of my car. And he just kept going. He did all that before he even called back up. So at that point, maybe the second incident, he calls back up, and then that's when they shows up, and it was like the same treatment with backup.
Let me ask you something, Queen Pearl. There's one part. There are a few parts that stood out to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first part was you were hanging on to the steering wheel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were you hanging on to the steering wheel because you were afraid to get out of that car? And why?
I was afraid because when he showed signs of aggression after he slung me to the ground, I knew then that he was one of those corrupt officers. So I was in fear of my life and my son. When I saw him beating my son, I was most terrified that, hey, you're going to kill us. You're going to kill us in this car, or when somebody else comes. So we just felt that we were more safer in the car. And I was holding on to the steering wheel because he was trying to pull me out at first. And then I guess when my son kept talking and about telling him why is he, you can hear him, you doing my mama like this, and he just would start pulling his taser and start beating both of us. But I was mostly at that point shielding my son because he had then took his attention off of me and started trying to pull my son out the car. So, and I didn't want to see my son get killed in front of me.
Let me ask you something. So the first time they pulled you out, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got back into the car, you and your son, right?
They didn't pull me out the first time. That's when I was already outside the car once I did the sobriety test.
You got back in the car. Your son got in the front seat with you?
Yeah, we drug each other to the passenger side front seat.
And you were shielding your son. Your son was 19, correct?
Correct.
All right. When the officer pulled out the taser, was that before backup?
Yes, way before backup.
So he started tasing your son. He started tasing you. When did the beating occur?
The beating occurred, as you can see, when he steps back out the car. After he took my keys out the car. He steps back out the car, and he was putting his handcuffs up. When he put the handcuffs up, then you can see him. He pulls the taser back out, and he just started tasing us. So the actual beating started when I think he must saw his backup coming down the highway, and that's when he just started punching. I have another video from the backseat video of all of that, and he just was punching and beating. So it was, and then he was doing that when backup came. When backup came, he steps out the car, and that's when backup proceeded to do the same.
The backup, so the backup officer, was there one or two in the second car that came through?
It was one officer in the second car that came.
So now both officers were beating you and your son, correct? Were you still in the car at this time or out of the car?
Well, actually, the first officer who was beating us first, he walks around to the driver's side, and that's when he snatches my son out. But during that time, my son had an asthma attack, so I'm guessing it wasn't no beating over there. But the second video, you can clearly see the other officers. When he pulls up, he snatches me out the car. He pulls his gun on me, and you can see him swinging on me. I was on the ground. He was beating me on the ground.
So you were already on the ground. They already had you. But there are a few things that struck out. Number one, when he was pulling you out by your legs, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had an opportunity to put on handcuffs, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't. Instead, he tased you all, right?
Right.
Second, during the ending of that video, your son had his hands up, right? And he said,
Right.
officer, I'm just trying to find out what's going on. I'm grown. You've seen all of our our cards and everything. And he had his hands up. Did that matter to the police?
No.
What did the police do after your son said that? With his hands?
It was just more of at that time more officers were showing up. South Haven Sheriff Department showed up. And I think I can't remember after the scuffle. All I know during that time when the officer finally got me off the ground from beating me, they was dragging me to the back of the car. I just saw my son laying on the ground gasping for air. So.
And he had an asthma attack. Let me ask you this. So you didn't know the first officer's name. How did you figure out the second officer, who that was and when?
When they put me in the second trooper's car, they put me in the front seat of his car. I looked at his camera, and on his camera it had I wasn't even sure if that was his name, but I was assuming since that's it's in his car, so it has initial in his last name.
First initial and then last name, right?
Right.
All right. Now, as all of this is happening, your grandson is in the back seat. Was that his mother?
No, that was my daughter-in-law. She's 17.
So that was 17, 19, and 3. So as she's in the back, I noticed that you handed her your phone, correct? Was that your phone?
Uh-huh.
And you said to her, keep it on the officer, keep it on the officer, right?
Yes, yes.
Thank you for coming through, my YouTubers. Please share this out on your community walls. Please, whatever you do, because we are demanding justice for Queen Pearl. So your daughter-in-law is in the back seat. The 3-year-old is in the back seat as well. What's happening to the 3-year-old? Is he witnessing everything?
Oh wow, he was just screaming, and you can hear him keep saying, "Help me!" He was screaming, "Help me!" He was crying and stuff, and he's now still terrified.
So the 3-year-old was screaming, "Help me!"
Uh-huh.
Did any of the officers try to calm the child down?
No, all of them was aggressive. So no.
Did they take the child?
No, during the time of all the incident, I was able to get my dad on the phone to tell him what was going on to see could he get here. I was able to call my daughter who lives here in Memphis. She was able to hurry up and get on the scene because they was trying to hurry up and get us off the highway and take my grandbaby and my daughter-in-law. But my daughter shows up right on time and she was able to get them.
Now, what did they charge you with?
They charged me with so the charges are, I know they said one was speeding. I just want to be clear. Yeah, one was speeding, child endangerment, child restraint, proof of liability insurance, I think it says DUI, possession of drug paraphernalia, disorderly conduct, failure to comply, expired tags, seatbelt violation, and I think I said speeding.
They threw everything at you.
Yes.
Let me ask you something. So that morning, because you know we always keep it 100, we keep it a buck, as they say. You had
Right.
weed, right?
Right.
Right. How much did you smoke?
It wasn't even a whole blunt. It was a half of a blunt at a little after 4 a.m.
So that was perhaps what the officer had smelled.
Um, I mean, I was in my car at 4 a.m. So, but during the time, it was the routine stop happened around 8.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, maybe the after effect, maybe, but I know I had a cigarette lit and my son, he was smoking his black. So maybe it could be all in the mixed, maybe, but that's what his excuse was.
Okay, let me ask you this: had you consumed any alcohol?
And no, I don't drink.
Have you seen the toxicology report? Any reports?
No, I'm still working on getting some stuff.
All right, so this is what happened, you guys. Plain and simply, she had a little bit of weed. She was in a racist state. They pulled her over. I'm sure that one of the reasons they had was because the sticker or the plate was expired. Okay, they pulled you over. They smelled a little bit of weed, and next thing you know, she's being tased. Her son is being tased, and the grandson is in the back seat screaming for his dear life. Right? So, of course, we all know how it is. They always throw a few extra charges up in there just in case they can't get you with one. They're going to get you with 3 or 4 or 5 more. We already know that that's been done a million damn times. So, they gave you a court date, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, how are you trying to get the word out? God, Mama, peace to you. How are you trying to get the word out about what happened? Because I guarantee you, this has happened a million times in Mississippi and other cities. We all know it in my city. When you hear those sirens, when you see those lights, you pray that you're going to make it even to the county jail, because there are a lot of times when they will arrest you, they will trump up some charges, and they will beat your ass, and then they will drop you in a damn alley somewhere. This is what happens in my city. I don't know about everybody else, but if they don't like you, or if they don't like your look, a lot of times before you even get to the police station or the county jail, you won't go in there like you left your home, and that's just the fact on that. Let me ask you, so who have you reached out to for help?
So far, I've reached out to lots of family and friends. Well, actually, they have been reaching out to me when they saw the videos and stuff like that. I'm actually writing a letter right now to the Department of Justice, another letter basically. I've tried to reach out to the Highway Patrol to even do a complaint, to at least to try to get some stuff going. But it's been a dead end on that level, so I may have to go personally. But I'm reaching out to anything that I can actually think of, with anybody that could be helpful. Um, but I don't have many people other than the people that socialize with me. They in many different other states who have been reaching out, who have been making calls while I'm at work, because it's hard for me to work and trying to obtain legal fees and stuff, and then try to do business conducting this. So I have people also have been calling to trying to help me as well.
I understand. Let me tell you what they're expecting now, right? Been in this for a long time now. What they're expecting is that you're going to go away. Okay? What they're expecting is that just like every other, you know what, we have justice on our side. I call it just us, US, just us system, because it is actually created for us. I'm just gonna put it that way. But they're expecting you to go away gently into the good night. They're not expecting you to have the support that you have, because see, the more you shine light on what is going on, the more they're going to try to dim that light, because it makes them look bad. It makes the city look bad. It makes the state look bad, and so forth. But let me tell you also who it makes look bad is their city officials, right? Just like the Pamela Smith case, that is how we connected. They didn't expect her to fight for so many years. They did not expect her to reach out to the national news and so forth. They just expected that's just a criminal and she's going to go away. But she never went away. You see what I'm saying? And that's when people started finding her. A lot of times you don't even have to go out. All you have to do is use social media. You know, we use social media for so damn much, but we don't use it for our people. You know what I'm saying? We'll use it to show a black man slapping another black man, but we won't use it when a sister and her son are being abused. We won't share that out, but we'll share everything else out that doesn't make any difference, because at the end of the day, this can happen to you. This can happen to your son. Your can be in the car when this happened. Let me tell you something, Queen. Crazy thing happened. I was coming home from work, right? Had on my little uniform and everything. And I had a chef. He was driving me home, right? So we got pulled over. I said, damn, what did you do? We weren't speeding and nothing. I said, driving while black. I get it. So we got pulled over. And so the officer, he came to the window and very frankly said, get out of the car. I said, excuse me, I had never did a day in jail in my life. I don't even know what it's like, right? So I said, oh, okay, maybe I don't understand what's going on. This was years and years ago, before I knew what I know now. So we both got out of the car. Do you know they made us sit on the ground, right? Then they were threatening us and all kind of things. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, I don't even know. I'm coming home from work with my damn uniform on. What are you talking about? Comes to find out, as they say in my city, you all fit the description. I said, of what? What do we fit the description of? Because it's a million that look like me. It's a million that look like him. So you're going to pull everybody over that looks like us? Now, that don't make no damn sense. And then that day on, I realized that it was the just us system. It was set up for just us to take people down. Next, Queen, the grandson, right? The 3-year-old. What has happened since that happened?
Oh wow. He's just now traumatized at every police siren, every fire truck siren, every ambulance siren. He's just, so it's like, you know, he's traumatized of it all. And he had got his potty train thing down packed real good. And now he slips every now and then because he's afraid to get up. He's afraid to hear any noise. So, but he's hoping to be okay. He always checks on me. I'm surprised he haven't walked in here right now and said, "Nana," and he'll look at my face and he'll say, when it was real bruised up, and he said, "No, police fight you," you know. So he know these things, and he said, "Police fight you in Junior," you know. So he remembered that.
I think about I think about what our children see all the damn time. But first, I want to stop and recognize the original Black Panther Party and the new Black Panther Party. Salute to the soldiers in the field. Salute to the queens and the earths as well. Thank you for standing with our queens and our queen mothers as well. To Fred Hampton, I just sent this to him. Peace, General, and to all of the generals as well, and the soldiers, the foot soldiers, boots on the ground time. You already know what time it is. how far do you want to take this? Because a lot of people, they're going to fall off. You know what I'm saying? You may have time when you won't have any support, where those that you thought were going to be there and they're going to soldier for you and all that, they're going to drop off. How far you want to take it?
Me, it's freedom or death with me. And I'm willing to fight for my freedom. So I'm gonna take it far as it has to go, because I'm doing this for not only me. It's people have gone on that I've watched, that my ancestors have been through, that I've grown to know. It's at some breaking point that we must not continue to let this go on. So it knocked at my doorstep. Yes, it did. And God said, it's your time and it's my time. I'm willing to take it far as it can go.
Man, you know, you never know, you all. Sometimes you will figure out what your purpose is in life. Sometimes you'll think your purpose is one thing, and then you end up realizing this is what I was sent here to do. That everything is according to divine orchestration, that this had to happen to you because it has happened to so many. And now you have also become a voice for those that are coming up after you and those that are fighting right now. A lot of queens, they fall off. They're afraid.
Can I say something, Queen? And not only this situation, but I've been strong now, holding on for almost 2 years. I mean, almost 3 years now. June would be 3 years. I've been dealing with the situation here in Memphis, Tennessee, juvenile court system. They wrongfully took my kids and false allegations.
Let's talk about it.
Yes, they wrongfully. When I first moved back to Memphis here, I moved with my dad. To speed it up a little bit, the same people who was hating on me 20 years ago when I left, they are still on craziness. So I wasn't sure if they made the allegation. They never told me who. But I know I got up here. My boys never been around their people, so they wants to hang around family. So my 16-year-old son, he was 16 at the time. He's 18 now. We'll be 19. That's how long I've been fighting. He got into some trouble. And I was out of town during that time. He was staying with my daughter at my daughter's house. And so I get a phone call by the juvenile court DCS worker saying that that my son had got in trouble and that the judge don't know what to do with them. Just was telling me that could somebody come, and I said, well, I'm gonna send my daughter because I'm out of town. They was like, well, no, you have to come. I said, well, what about my sister? So, but long story short, during that time, I wasn't able to come. So she said, well, hold on, let me call you back. I'll let you know. She calls me back to tell me that, well, the judge made a decision to remove your other children from your home. So when that happened, I said, well, wait a minute. What does my other kids have to do with what he did? I never knew. She never said anything. The allegation was made June 4th. They entered my kids June 4th. I never knew what allegations or nothing. So at that time, I thought she was just joking. I brushed it off and didn't turn my kids in. Or what I look like surrendering my kids. I got grown kids. They've been with mama their whole entire life. So I brushed it off. August came around. I enrolled my kids in school like a normal mother would, taking them to school and everything. I finally got a court date for my 16-year-old son, which was on August the 23rd, maybe. So I takes him to court about what he did. I shows up in court, me and him at juvenile court, and they reset the court date because they said, well, he got another charge. We don't know what to do. So when they reset the court date, they reset it for August the 30th. We goes back August the 30th. They reset it again. So the third time we goes to court, which was September the 24th, I believe, 4 days before my baby girl birthday. We goes to court September 24th, and that's when that judge stood me up there and said that, oh, well, they took the whole case off of my son now. It went to me. They said, well, oh, Ms. Richmond, we've been looking for you anyway to turn your kids in. They put a bench warrant for my arrest right then and there, and they locked me up, and they went to all my kids' school, and they withdrew my kids from school.
Wow.
And I've been fighting this ever since. And when I didn't find out about the allegation until October, And the allegation was, I mean, if we can talk about it here, or me and you can talk personally, that would be fine.
We'll talk
But the
personally.
allegation,
We'll talk.
okay, the allegation was just, it was just all out of whack. And, so I've been actually still fighting this thing here about my kids. So I've been going through a lot with this system, this justice system, who are doing this thing to us.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. And this is not uncommon. With our melanated sisters, this happens all the time. There are parents that should lose custody of their children, and then there are others that should not. It depends actually on the juvenile court system in your city and your state. You know what I'm saying? Let me ask you something. So we know now that you were beaten, your son was beaten, your grandson, he, as someone said, godmama, PTSD. Exactly. Let me highlight that. PTSD. Exactly. This is what happens not just to the passengers. This also happens to the person that was pulled over as well. So how has this affected you since that happened?
Oh my God. I know I have to go to work to still make ends meet. I'm so heavily traumatized now to where I just can't trust no officers. I mean, there are some good ones out here. I'm not saying all of them are bad, but I was also in a scuffle with 3 Memphis men's police department, police officers about my situation with my kids. And they jumped on me as well. So I'm just now like, I don't know who to trust.
Let me ask you this too. Do you think that your affiliations could have anything to do with it? You know where I'm coming from?
I do.
Because what's understood need not be explained. So
Correct.
know that you are or were a part of an affiliation. Do you think that you become a target no matter what city you go to? So you may think that you're not on the radar, but in actuality, they're watching everything that you do in order to bring you down and to bring your organization down as well. Am I correct?
Right.
What I mean by that, my people, in case you don't understand or understand, is that a lot of our queens, they are soldiers in the field for their people. And I think you can see now what happens when they find out that you are a soldier, that you are standing your ground, you're standing on your square. They will, from state to state, they will follow you. They will disrupt your lives in any way they think that they can do, right? They will also disrupt your children's lives as well. That is to break you. This has been happening for quite some time. This is nothing new. I want to show one more time for those on YouTube that are just now coming in, because we do need to see this.
Right now. Y'all, the police is pulling on me. No, put it on the police. Y'all, this guy is in my car. Someone help me. Somebody help. This man is in my mama's car. He just took my keys. Put on me. This police, I'm on Highway 55. Hold it here. I'm on Highway 55. Y'all, me and my family, my grandbaby, Lena, I need y'all. What you trying to do? Call Daddy. He's threatening tasers. Leave my son alone. Leave my son alone. What is your name, sir? What is your name? What is your name, sir? Y'all, we Highway 55. Send emergency crews. We not far from South Haven. This policeman is tasing us. Don't tase my son. He's tasing us. He's tasing us. Stop tasing my son. Help us, y'all. We on Highway 55. He tased me, y'all. Help us. Help us. Help us, y'all. Stop tasing tasing us, sir. Stop tasing us, sir. Please stop tasing us.
No, let me go before you break my arm.
Y'all, join my line. Sure. See you, sure, my line. Let my son go, sir.
No. Let me go, sir. No, my wrist.
Y'all, he's breaking. Y'all, we need help. We need help. We need help. We need help. Y'all, stop. No. Stop. No. Y'all, this is a robot. Y'all, this man is hurting my son. Y'all,
He's trying to drive his whipping.
we on Highway 55.
He's trying to drive.
We on Highway 55. Yes.
Somebody call help.
We need help. We need help, y'all. We on Highway 55. This sheriff is tasing us. He's fighting us, y'all. He's trying to take my son at the car. Yes, I don't know his name. No.
Be quiet, AJ. Sit down.
Sit down, baby.
Sit down, AJ.
No.
Sit down. Get out of the car.
No. Y'all, I don't know his name, y'all. He won't tell us his name.
You're arrested for DUI.
Mississippi, Memphis, Tulsa, Oklahoma. We've already came for Tulsa. We're going to keep coming for Tulsa. But now we are coming for Memphis and Mississippi. You all stay tuned in. Talk about some fire. Fire is coming. And we're not putting it out because we demand justice. We are not going to continue to watch these things happen to our queens, to our sons, to our grandchildren, to our daughters. We're not going to keep watching it. And I said it. Queen, is there anything you'd like to say?
I want to thank you all for even taking the time out to watch this horrifying moment, knowing this is going on all over. Take time out to start hugging each other, loving each other, and staying close because we need it now. Stay strong, don't give in, and always fight for what's right. That's the way I came up, and that's the right way. I want to say I love you all, and I want to thank you all for even watching. Thank you, Sister Queen, for taking the time out to even giving me the opportunity to even be on your show. So I want to thank you as well.
I thank you. You just stay right there. Okay, so we're going to be keeping you updated with this beautiful queen, all right? We're going to let you know every court date what is happening. If you are close to her city and her state, what you can do as well to assist in her fighting for justice. So thank you all for coming through. Peace, power, understanding, and then always light. Yes, peace. Peace, my sister, and to my generals and my soldiers on the field. We fight. You already know. Peace, family. Until next time.